Hey, welcome everyone to Political Playtime with John and Lou. John is off to the side.
Yo.
And my name is Lou. We're going to talk about dictators today. Because you know what's bothered me is I've seen some of these YouTube videos of some of these experts, so-called experts, about the Ukraine war. And to me, they come across as pro-Putin, pro-Russia. I don't give a shit how they try to disguise it. It's obvious to me. To me, in my opinion, Putin is a dictator. Would you agree that Putin is a dictator?
Well, let's see. They changed the Constitution so he could be in there for, what is it, 3 terms, 2 terms? They extended the terms.
So he's been in power.
So he's not going to leave. So
2023, right? Since 2023? Oh, am I saying 2023? For 23 years.
Okay, see, they don't have constitutional changes like we do here. They just take it to the Duma. They go, wham, bam, they're done. So it's a 12-year term. So he's getting I think his last one was an 8-year. The new one is going to be like a 12-year term starting next year, which is when the elections are. So he's basically a dictator because he's not going to leave. He's not going anywhere.
You can disguise the Constitution.
Yeah.
Basically, bottom line is what it is. President for life.
Like Netanyahu.
Okay, like Netanyahu.
And a few others.
Talking about that piece of crap.
Yeah.
But so basically, leader for life until
basically
he trips on a caterpillar and dies.
Or he gets stung by a bee.
His soup kills him.
Yeah.
He's overthrown by someone inside the government or the military. So basically, president for life. I hear these guys on YouTube. For starters, gentlemen, you have a big problem with me. Is when the Ukraine war started over a year ago now, when you were saying this is going to go a month or weeks or days and it's going to be over. Russia's coming out stronger. All you do is you mention all the benefits to Russia. But now we can go back and look at what you said, right? Isn't that the issue? Isn't that a problem?
The thing is, you get a lot of these talking heads.
But isn't that a problem? But these are big name guys. I'm not even going to mention their names. And maybe some people watch this, and you don't read between the lines. This is pro-Russia, pro-Putin bullshit. Okay? The problem, again, as I'm going to say, gentlemen, is you're on camera. You are filmed. Your words are recorded. You speak as experts. And you've been dead wrong. So I don't know what your field of expertise is. I think what it is bullshit. Because when we can go back and see how wrong you are, when these guys talk about, for example, oh, the sanctions put on Russian oil, that actually is benefiting Russia. Oh, is it? So I don't know what kind of math you do, but let me ask you this kind of math. So let's say Russia was selling this. You see this? So yeah. Russia was selling this for $5. Okay, this is not oil or gas, but just an example, make a comparison. So Russia was selling this for $5. They now have to sell it for, let's say, $3.50. If I'm selling something for a certain amount, now I have to sell the exact same thing for less money. I don't know what kind of math is that would benefit me. I don't know what kind of math you guys do. That's why you can read between the lines. This is pro-Putin, pro-Russia propaganda. When you're selling the same thing for less money, it's not benefiting you. Okay, that's not how it works. I don't know what kind of math these people do. You know who's benefiting? You say who's benefiting. We know China.
Oh, they got capitalism down with science.
China buying Russian oil at a discount.
India is probably the biggest benefactor.
India.
Because they're buying the oil, they're refining it, they're shipping it to this is fucked up. They're shipping it to the Europeans that don't want to buy Russian oil. So they're still selling.
Listen, when somebody wants oil, they're going to get oil.
Of course, they have to.
If it has to do a loop or whatever, it's going to get there. It's going to get there.
And it gets there. They ship it from. They move them to ships that are flagged from somewhere else, and there's all kinds of ways around this shit.
But for any dipshit expert that wants to tell me Russia is stronger, they're better off. They're better off selling the same product for less money. Do you agree with that math?
It makes no sense.
It's mathematically ridiculous. Would Russia rather sell this at $5 or at $3.50?
If they get it from the Chinese, they can probably make money at $3.50. But
okay, let's get something straight. If I'm selling this for $3.50 and I'm making a profit, logic dictates if I can sell this for $5,
you're going to make even more
I'm
profit.
going to make more money.
Exactly.
I'm not. Oil companies, like any company, right? Any company really, is not in business to not make money. They're in business to make as much as they can.
Yeah, no matter what. No matter who they destroy, who they hurt, they don't care.
I don't care if it's a restaurant. If a restaurant can sell you an omelet for $7 and you'll pay for it, why would they sell it to you for $5?
Meanwhile, pay their people less than minimum wage. You know, it's just like that
business is
everywhere.
in business to make money. So these guys on these YouTube channels, dude, guys, hey, congratulations, man. Let's go back and watch your videos from a year ago. This war will be over in days, weeks, if not days. Russia's coming out ahead. Oh, the Russian sanctions against Russia, it's actually benefiting Russia. Putin knows what he's doing. Let's talk about the dictators like we said. Fidel Castro, Stalin, Hitler, Salazar, the Shah of Iran.
Which we helped put into power.
In Russia,
the czars.
The czars. These are people, folks, that wake up every morning not thinking of, what am I going to do for my people today? What am I going to do for my country today? What is their number one priority of a dictator? Say it.
Stay in power. Well, of course it is.
In power.
And maybe get a few extra perks like some money.
Stay in power. Now, we have something great in this country where a president can only serve 2 terms, right?
Yep.
So your average sane person that is president knows, okay, I didn't get reelected, so I'm out, or I'm in my 2nd term, it's almost over, and I'm going to be a citizen, and I'm going to go live my life, do my presidential library, speaking engagements, blah, blah, blah. They're now living a different life, and they're gone. They're out, right?
Yeah.
It's a great thing in this country.
Oh, yeah, they know they're done.
They know they're done. Look at Bush with his paintings, George W.
And they can make a shitload of money after they leave.
Jimmy Carter working for Habitat for Humanity. Bill Clinton hitting on waitresses, or whatever the hell he does. I don't even know what he does.
If they breathe, I mean, he's going to hit on them.
Hitting on waitresses.
Yeah.
I mean, they move on with their lives. We move on, and we move on as citizens as well, right?
Yeah.
To the next election. The unfortunate thing here is we don't have term limits for Congress.
And the courts, the federal courts,
and the
courts. Federal courts.
That's the problem. How many years have we been talking about term limits for Congress?
They've been talking about that forever, but it's never going to happen.
Never going to happen. Never going to happen.
The only way it will happen is a constitutional amendment, and that's going to be hard enough to do.
If you get the most rabid congressperson, that's 4 term limits. 4 term limits. And they do a vote, and they say to him, hey, you're the deciding vote here.
Yeah.
So if you vote for term limits, we're going to do it. That rabid term limit congressman is going to go, whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute, me?
Yeah. No.
No, I'm not going to vote for it now.
Well,
because I can talk about it knowing it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
right?
but you look at the filibuster. One party is against it one day, the other party is against it. So they're both against it. Neither of them want to do away with it.
What, I'm going to vote? I'm going to vote to put term limits on me?
No, hell no.
This is a pretty good gig here, man.
Like I said, the only way that's going to happen is a constitutional amendment that is going to have to come from the states. Because it needs 2/3 of the states to pass. Yeah, but Congress has nothing to do with it.
But these people that talk about it, well, push came to shove. Bottom line,
no.
You're the deciding vote here.
No.
You're all for term limits. So go ahead, vote for term limits.
No.
Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm not.
No.
Nope, not doing it.
No.
Why am I going to vote myself, put limits on myself?
Yeah.
This is a great gig. I can spew all this shit.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's not going to happen.
Well,
right? It's not going to happen. So I can say I'm for it.
Yeah. But these people don't give a rat's ass about the American people. I mean, that's already been shown.
And then you can ask them, well, listen, you're for term limits. You've been there 30 or 40 years.
Yeah.
Why didn't you leave?
Exactly.
And set an example.
Oh, no, there's too much work to be done.
Right? That's politicians. But they know how to set examples.
Yeah, of course they do.
But Trump, of course, the Donald wasn't looking at 8 years as president.
No,
he was looking to be dictator.
Yeah.
And any MAGA that says, oh, that's not true. Okay, do you remember MAGAs when Donald Trump said, maybe I'll be president the next 12 or 16 years?
Yeah.
Remember when he said that?
Yep.
Fox News criticized him for saying that.
Not only that, he had, what's his name, Mike Huckabee looking into it. Really? I mean...
into a third term because his first term was interrupted by the investigation, all that.
Yeah, all that bullshit. Yeah, that's still...
And all that. So basically it didn't count.
No.
But the point is, he said those things. Why would someone say, maybe I'll be president the next 12 or 16 years when you know you cannot be? Because he thought about it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
He thought about it. He was putting it out there.
I mean, even though this country is starting to look like a banana republic.
Absolutely. How about when he was asked in an interview, what do you think about Xi Jinping now being president for life? What was his response? We ought to look into that here.
Yeah.
So for any MAGA that says, oh no, he didn't want that, that wasn't what he was trying to do. You listen to his crap. Why don't you listen to all of it?
Yeah. Xi is another one that can be considered a dictator.
Absolutely.
Because he's never going to leave, unless the party fucks him over. But he's never going to leave.
Absolutely, he's a dictator. And I'm going to say this, for any of you guys on YouTube, that you're not trying to act like you're pro-Putin, but you are, you're pro-dictator. Okay, so you're not pro-democracy, so don't act like you are. Don't act like you are. You're pro-dictator.
Here's another example of somebody acting like a dictator. Trudeau in Canada.
Okay,
even though these people are
Trudeau is a Boy Scout.
He's a piece of
compared
shit.
to these people.
Yeah. Oh,
because in Russia, for example, and there are MAGAs that are pro-Russia.
Oh yeah.
Pro-Putin.
Yeah.
They used to wear shirts, better Russian than Democrat.
Yeah.
Then why don't you go live in Russia? And then get pissed off, you don't like Putin, you say something against Putin, and see how that works out for you.
Or they
see how that works out
or they find you a nice apartment in Siberia.
How people in this country who talk about democracy can defend Putin, who is a dictator that if you turn on him, you are a dead man walking.
Like, what's his name?
Prigozhin.
Prigozhin.
This is what you defend, and then you talk about democracy. Shut the hell up about democracy. You're not pro-democracy.
People in this country don't care about democracy. They don't care about free speech. They don't care about democracy. You know, that's how far it's going. I mean, look at the thing they had in Congress the other day in the House with I think it was a thing about censorship, right? And they had Robert Kennedy on. Not that I agree with everything he says, but Debbie Wasserman Schultz, she would not let him.
I can't stand that lady.
Talk.
I'm sorry, I can't look at her.
This is the thing about censorship, and she was just going after him, wouldn't even let him get in a word. So that's how far things have gotten here.
I can't watch that woman. I can't
either.
To her. And you know, folks, we're in Florida,
and she's well, at least for me, she's my congresswoman.
Yeah.
I never voted for her.
Okay, so. You know, both our voters' registration cards say no party affiliation, just so you know. Like
the majority of the U.S.
Okay, but let me tell this story, because I think I told this story on a different podcast one time. This brainwashing that people have, I hear this so often when it comes to politics. When it comes to politics, let's be realistic. It's not politics. Yes. It's like that with politics. People hear what they want to hear. My team, I'm this or I'm that, so my team's always right.
Yeah, it's us against them.
Kamala Harris is the greatest thing in the world. Okay, based on what? Well, they can't tell you. Well, but she's African American and she's a woman. Okay, there are plenty of those people around.
She's a woman of color.
You know, is she left-handed too? I mean, a woman of color, exactly.
Oh, she's got 6 toes.
But this is the thing. People say it's like this with politics. Let me tell you this story, because like I said, I told it on a different podcast. So I'm sitting at a bar, 4 guys, me and 3 friends. We're Dolphins fans, Miami
Yeah,
Dolphins.
you have told that one, yeah.
We're in Florida, on the other podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're watching a Dolphins game. I don't remember who it was against on TV. Pass is thrown. Receiver catches it in the end zone. The Dolphins receiver, we're all, yay, touchdown. So we're, oh yeah, touchdown. What a pass. What a catch. And then they show it in slow motion. The receiver actually caught the ball, went through his arms, hit the ground, and then he fell on it. So 4 friends here, all for the same team. So we all said, oh, no, that one's coming back. That one's coming back because obviously he dropped the ball and hit the ground.
Yeah, it's obvious. You can tell.
So the 3 of us saw the replay, and of course they show it to the point of nauseum over and over and over and over and over and over different angles.
Yeah, because that's what they do.
The sports commentators said, oh yeah, this one's coming back, and clearly see that ball hit the ground. It's not a completed pass. It's not going to be a touchdown. It's going to be called back. They reviewed it. Of course, it was called back. One of the guys sitting with us was furious that that play was called back. We had to say to him, we're all for the same team and friends, say to him, did you not see the replay we all saw? The ball hit the ground. He never saw it. Was replayed probably 20 or 30 times. His eyes
didn't see it.
Never saw the ball hit the ground when everyone else did, including us. We're all for the same team.
Well, that's the problem. Well, with sports,
so it's not the problem with sports. It's a problem with people's brains. So it applies to politics. It applies to celebrities.
Especially in this country.
Look in soccer matches. Remember the English hooligans?
Oh, they got kicked out of so many countries, it's ridiculous.
Would get in fights, turn over bleachers. I mean, it's people that are so fanatical, they get to the point where they only see what they want to see. And if something they don't like, it doesn't register.
No.
So you think of that guy. So that guy got so angry with us for not agreeing with him, he stormed out of the bar.
And the evidence is sitting there staring him in the face.
And everyone agreed, and the play was overturned.
Yeah.
The call was overturned, and it was called back. Yeah. Everybody saw it. Now, he was angry with us for not agreeing with him that it was a touchdown. As if even if we were like him, it would have made a difference.
It would have made
The play was overturned.
Yeah.
Does that mentality, that insanity, apply to just sports? No. Does it apply to just politics? No. It applies to religion. My religion is right. Your religion is wrong.
Well, like George Carlin said, do you believe in God? Yes. Do you believe in my God? No.
Yeah, boom.
Yeah, boom.
But these are weak-minded people. We've got the MAGAs. I'm going to run through a list off the top of my head that they've said in interviews. MAGA people. Donald Trump is still president.
Still runs the military.
Still president. Donald Trump runs the military. And then these 2 ladies were asked, so Donald Trump is sending aid to Ukraine. Oh, no. That's the other military. He runs the good military.
There is no such thing as a good military.
He runs the good military.
Yeah,
What's wrong with these people?
He does.
When Mike Lindell a couple of years ago said, remember, Donald Trump's going to be reinstated August, I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it was August 8th or something like that, yeah.
And people believed it. My question to these MAGAs is, when you believe these things and then they don't happen, do you ever at some point clear your mind and say, holy shit.
No, it doesn't register.
Man, I got to get my head out of my ass.
It doesn't register.
Because I keep believing things that are then shown that they're not true.
Yeah, it doesn't register.
They're not true. No, they move on to the next one.
I mean, our system is so screwed up. I mean, it's getting worse and worse.
But this is why we have dictators. Ask MAGA people, do you want Trump to be president for life? Yes.
Yeah. Well, there was one said that...
But he can't according to the Constitution.
Oh, they don't care.
Don't care?
No, it don't matter.
Second Amendment. Oh, my God.
The Constitution...
Oh, my God, the Second Amendment.
The Constitution doesn't mean shit anymore to anybody.
It's like the Bible. Pick
and choose.
Because there are a lot of things in the Bible that aren't so nice.
Yeah, but slavery is okay in the Bible.
So what do? You pick and choose. Your pastor sits in front of you, picks and chooses what he's going to tell you.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's going to leave out certain parts that don't sound very nice.
Like, even abortion is legal in the Bible.
Doesn't sound very nice.
It's Matthew something or other. If you're a woman, you get pregnant by somebody that's not your husband, the priest can give you this water, which will basically give you an abortion. So it's perfectly legal, I guess, if a priest does it.
I guess. But the point is, for you guys on YouTube, bragging about Russia and how well Russia's doing and how Russia's just going to come in there, kick their ass, it's over and done, blah, blah, blah. You're proven wrong. It's not my opinion that you're wrong. It's a fact. You're on video.
Yeah, because nobody can.
You did podcasts saying this crap. You were wrong.
They can't predict what the hell's going on. What's going to happen?
And
There's no way.
And you know, with Putin, for example, let's talk about Russia. Let's talk about Russia. So they invaded Ukraine to free Ukraine of the Nazis. Zelensky's Jewish, but apparently he's Nazi as well.
Well, they invaded.
Russia invaded Ukraine
to help the Russians in the dumbass region, or whatever the hell it's called.
They wanted to invade Ukraine, put in a puppet leader is what they wanted to do, just like they have in Belarus. Congratulations, that guy's a great guy.
Lukashenko? Oh, he's a great guy.
He's cool guy, really sweet man. Russia invades Ukraine. Russia is then pissed off of NATO and the United States helping Ukraine. Russia is getting help from North Korea and Iran. That's okay, right? That's okay. Russia invades Ukraine. When Ukraine attacks back, those are terrorist acts. So a country invades another country, and then when the other country attacks back, those attacks back against the invader are terrorist acts.
But the problem there is...
Listen, let's not be children here.
The problem there is with those terrorist, what they call terrorist acts, the Ukrainians do that, and they don't take credit for it. I mean, if I was the Ukrainians, I'd go, hey, guess what? We can send drones over to Moscow, too.
I don't think they need to take credit for it. I think what's important is just getting results.
I mean, the last time they blew up the bridge...
Get results. If you're trying to get results, the bottom line is getting results, not chirping. Because Putin does a lot of chirping. Because he does it for his audience.
Of course.
What did his foreign minister say? Was it in the UN?
Lavrov, that was really stupid. This guy's smarter than that.
Ukraine attacked Russia.
Yeah, he's smarter than that.
Ukraine attacked Russia. He was laughed at. This is 10-year-old propaganda bullshit.
Yeah, Lavrov,
but it's for their audience.
Their audience, of course.
Their audience. Like Trump. The stupidity of what he says. Is it to convince anti-Trumpers to vote for him? No. It's to hold on to his MAGA group.
And he's
Donald Trump said, I can end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. Did he tell you how he's going to do it?
Of course not.
He just told you he can. Because he's a con man.
Because he's Donald Trump.
Because he's a con man. Just like when he said, we're going to replace the Obama plan. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. Where is it? Where is it? But you say it. This is what con men do. This is what dictators do. They say things. Fidel Castro, the stupidest shit I have ever heard in my life. I remember years ago.
He came out with a bunch of doozies.
Years ago, he was sitting for an interview. I don't know if it was 60 Minutes or who it was with. And he said, because the U.S. pays rent for Guantanamo.
Yeah, he's got the checks.
He opened up a drawer and said, I have the checks right here, and didn't cash them.
Yeah.
This is like childish. This is Banana Republic bullshit. Dictatorship bullshit, and African crap too.
Yeah.
And Putin does the same thing.
Oh, here's a
leader of the largest country in the world. Listen, we're going to take one break on our side. I'm going to have a sedative or something because I'm starting to get really aggravated. We'll be right back in a split second. Hi everyone, we're back.
We are?
I guess we're back. So we're talking about dictators. Again, the reason we're bringing this up is because I was talking about these YouTube channels with Americans pretty much acting as pro-Putin. And if you are, you're pro-dictator. And there's no getting around that, man. It is what it is. I know people like to be controversial, right? Oh, I got to be against the Ukraine war because it'll get me views. Right? Wouldn't you not agree? If you're against something controversial, it gets you views.
Of course, you get attention.
So, you know, you want to defend Russia, you want to say Russia's better off, Russia, the sanctions don't affect Russia. I mean, come on, man.
Now you're sounding like Biden.
I mean, come on. No, because if I was Biden, I'd be walking around aimlessly
in a stupor, yeah.
Somebody have to sit me down. But it's just insane. And again, like we said earlier, we can go back and look at your videos from a year ago and say this. You're full of shit, right?
Yeah, because I mean, you can't fucking predict.
I can give an opinion.
Yeah.
You can give an opinion, right?
Oh,
These guys talk like they know things. This is what's going to happen.
And this
is what's going to happen.
That applies to both ends of like.
Right, but what a point I want to make too is this: you're American, doing these videos on YouTube,
yeah,
podcasts, whatever. You can do them. When you're finished, go have dinner. Go play with yourself. Go do whatever you want. In Russia, you couldn't do that unless you were pro-Putin and pro the Russian government. Because if you were anti-government, you'd be doing it from another country because you couldn't do it there.
But by the same token, that also applies to Ukraine. Because if you look at them, they're all the same. The corruption and it's in their genes, they're all of those.
Let's say that
Eastern
area.
Europe, that whole area. Well, yeah, the whole area. It's in their genes, so
let's say
it wouldn't change. Oh, Africa.
These generals with medals coming out of their asses.
Yeah, they look like what was it? Curly when they did the Hitler skit. Remember all the medals?
Stooges.
Yeah, Three Stooges. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the thing about you guys promoting Putin. I can't stand Putin because I can't stand any leader whose main focus when they wake up throughout the day and until they go to bed is how am I going to stay in power?
Yeah, there's quite a few of them.
When you have people that are being killed, poisoned, falling out of windows because they spoke out against the government. You want to promote that? You want to say, you can promote it. I'm okay with that. Don't say you're pro-democracy. Don't say that. You're pro-dictator, or you just want attention.
Well, a lot of people just want attention. The same thing with the, what do you call it?
You're experts.
The Zelensky worship. You got a lot of those too.
I know, but don't do Kellyanne Conway where you have to go back and attack Ukraine.
No, but you're looking at both of them.
The fact of the matter still is this: Ukraine did not invade Russia. Russia invaded Ukraine.
Right, but
that's still a fact. That's a fact. You're not getting around that fact.
No, of course it's a fact. But you also have to realize and know. You don't have to agree with it, but you have to know why and how it happened. I mean, you got to know the history, which a lot of people don't know the history of shit. Like,
right, but there's also a history with Russia, and you know people like to look at Russia and China. China this, China that. China wants to make money. China wants to be relevant economically. And they are.
They've gotten that down. China has gotten capitalism down to a science.
China is the #2 economy of the world, and someday maybe
there's some statistics out there. They're saying they're #1 already.
Russia has a smaller economy than Italy.
The Russians, I think, what, 37th?
Okay, that's the largest country in the world.
Yeah, I think it's 37th.
Because Russia is not about economy. Russia is about showing might. Well, military might. This country is too, but this country uses military might to expand their economy and expand their influence around the world. Russia doesn't want to go into your country, put in a puppet government to build up your country. Russia just wants control and show military might. Because when have they ever been an economic power? When have they ever not been corrupt?
Oh no, the corruption.
When has Russia not been corrupt? Russia/Soviet Union. When have they not been corrupt?
Well, it's not. You're not looking at just the Soviet Union and what is now Russia. You're looking at Russia before the Soviet Union during the time of the czars. Okay, corruption in that part of the world, what they call Eastern Europe, has always been there. It's in their genes. It's in their DNA.
Exactly, which doesn't make Putin now a good guy. Putin is that guy.
So
Is that model.
Yeah, so is Lukashenko, another piece of shit.
And Lukashenko is the guy that if Putin wants to take him out and replace him, he'll do it.
Yeah, and
Lukashenko lives on pins and needles. He's got to watch himself.
Zelensky is another one.
There's one country.
There's a couple of others.
Go back to that.
There's always a couple. There's a bunch of them.
I think there's one leader on this planet that can sit with Putin privately and say, listen here, dipshit. This is what's going to happen. And you know who that leader is?
Xi.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the only one.
Not Biden.
Xi.
It's not Trump. It's
which is kind of weird because
privately.
Yeah,
Say,
privately.
okay, we're going to act like we support you publicly, but this is what's going to happen, dipshit.
Well, not just
Because
that.
what does Russia? What would Putin
Yeah.
say? Hey, screw you! No.
But the thing is, both Xi and Putin, they have this relationship that they can talk to each other, behind closed doors and call each other assholes or whatever, but they do stuff in a way that nobody else does. They've got this relationship that you can't find. Like, look at Biden. Well, not just Biden, but the U.S.
Well, what is that relationship you're talking about?
Oh, the Russians.
The Russians need China.
Oh, so the Chinese need Russia
has
too.
the upper hand on Russia.
Oh, yeah, but the Chinese also need Russia.
China has the upper hand.
Look at the auto market.
China has something Russia doesn't have. An economy. That is an economy you don't mess with.
No.
Russia doesn't have that.
And
Russia has nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Okay? Is your end result nuking the world? That's going to get you somewhere? No, we're all done, if it came to that.
Oh, if it came to that, of course we're all
Okay?
done.
We're all done. Russia doesn't not have what China has. And
No.
Russia probably never will.
No, because the Chinese, like
never
I
will.
said, the Chinese have capitalism down to a science.
Yes, and Russia does not.
No,
Russia
they
is
don't.
about
Nobody does.
showing might.
Nobody has it down like the Chinese, even the U.S. Because the Chinese will go to these countries in Africa, so whatever, South America, they'll build projects, they'll go, okay, so this railroad's going to cost you $150 billion. And this country's going, well, we don't have money. Okay, so we'll take over your iron ore resources until that's paid off. So it's like a win-win situation compared to what the U.S. does, where we'll send our companies over there, they'll exploit everything, and your country doesn't get shit.
And here in the U.S., we tend to want immediate results. Because
Exactly.
we have to put out our quarterly report. So we want our stock to go up. Who else was a country that, huge economy as well, still is, that believed in
They're number 3.
time, investment?
Oh, it's the Japanese. They've
Japan.
always done that, yeah.
Japan.
They were willing, the Japanese were willing to take a loss
It'll take time.
until they get their stuff together.
It'll take time, but we're going to get there.
Yeah.
We're going to get there.
Which you're looking at the, cars.
And now you have another country
The
doing
quality.
the same thing. South Korea.
Yeah.
South Korea doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Investing over time. Because I know Hyundais are cars that...
Oh, when they came out, they were garbage.
Do you folks
Now look
remember
at
what Hyundais were like when they came out?
Well, remember
The
Mitsubishi?
biggest pieces of crap.
Remember Mitsubishi?
Now they're nice cars.
I think Hyundai, well, there was a Hyundai and the Mitsubishi, they were the same car. I think Mitsubishi actually owned Hyundai at that time.
They were garbage.
Yeah, they were garbage.
Absolute
They were garbage.
Cheap. Yeah, they were cheap.
Yeah, they were cheap, but they were
I hope
garbage.
so because they were garbage.
But now they're a hell of a lot better. They've
Now they're
improved.
nice
You've
cars.
realized. I mean, even the Chinese cars. You look.
Better warranties
Yeah.
than American manufacturers.
Yeah. Well, American manufacturers never really cared about the consumer.
Well, I think those companies too. They had a reputation of bad quality, so the warranties were required.
I mean, just
for people to have trust.
Just the issues I've had with my Ford F-150 shows how much the car companies cared, because my brakes went out, and I went in, and later on, before I went in, I found out that there was a recall for the same exact thing for 2 years, for the model year 2 years later, right? Same exact thing. It was the what do you call it?
Well, move this along because we can
Brake booster.
We can do an episode.
And they wouldn't,
on that.
and they wouldn't fucking cover it.
But
So the thing is, I will never buy a Ford again.
But let's get back to dictators. And you know what? There's a common thing with dictators that have oil. Okay, countries that have oil, where they have some mega rich living
Yeah.
off of that oil and gas
Fuel.
on fuel,
Yeah.
energy. Very, very wealthy people and very, very poor people.
Well, you look at the Middle East, that's one right there.
And Russia, and Venezuela.
Well, yeah, no, but
Mexico. All these countries that have oil are fucking corrupt. Because there are so many super mega wealthy making
Well,
money
but-
off of that.
you look at, say, Russia. They're not corrupt because of the oil. That's in their genes.
No, they're corrupt
that's long.
with oil. They
Yeah,
were
well-
corrupt already and have oil.
Yeah,
Yes.
and have oil, but that's not what's causing
They're
the
already
corruption.
corrupt.
They're already
Now
corrupt.
give them oil and gas.
You look at Nigeria.
Give them oil and gas.
Nigeria, another
Wherever there's
big
oil,
oil
there's corruption.
producer. I mean, the shit that goes on in Nigeria is ridiculous because of the oil. You got people living in poverty, digging up oil. I mean, with the oil, their natural resources. I mean, the oil companies just ruin everything in Nigeria, and they get away with it.
Greed ruins everything too.
Oh yeah,
Greed.
yeah.
Greed.
Because there's never enough money.
These countries that are selling oil, that are making money, they don't say, okay, we're making money off this oil, especially these dictators. Now we're going to invest in our infrastructure.
Oh, and-
look at Latin America, right? Why? Wait, we don't want our people fleeing.
Yeah.
We want to build up our country so people don't want to leave our country. No,
Right.
leave.
No, leave.
Leave. Because you know what? I'm the dictator here. I'm loaded. I got my cronies. I make sure they're well taken care of so they cover me, right?
Well, they have to
They're
be.
looking out for me.
Yeah.
All the sycophants. But it's not because they like me, because I'm taking care of them. Like in North Korea.
North Korea.
All those generals with medals all over the place, man. I think they got medals on their asses.
Yeah, but North Korea.
Why? Because they live better than your average person.
Yeah,
so,
but North Korea is different because they don't have oil. They, really don't have anything.
No, they do. They do have their people in many cases out in the country starving, and then you have organizations sending food.
Oh, people eating grass.
Sending food. And Kim Jong-un is the only fat guy you see in North Korea.
But let's.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Watch,
Oh, yeah.
folks, watch all the videos you want about North Korea. Everybody's pretty thin. Everybody's pretty much built the same. And then you got Kim Jong-un, who's got layers and layers of fat on him.
But here's
Because it shows that he's powerful and wealthy, and you know.
we're doing dictators right now, but
Right, no, that's a good one.
our definition of dictator is not just somebody that takes over and revolutionary. We're talking about dictators that are, quote, democratically elected and they don't leave.
No.
We consider
How about
those a dictator.
Those that will never leave.
Yeah, like Putin,
Those that will kill you.
Netanyahu.
Those that will kill you.
Yeah.
Will poison you. Will go after your family. These governments that have, you know what? Turn people in.
Like they wanted to do here in Florida.
Turn people in. If they're anti-government, if you suspect they're against the government, turn them in. Like Kim Jong-un, which is actually a Korean thing, is if you commit a crime, they go after 3 generations. Like Stalin did. Stalin did not like creative people.
No.
Because creative people, artists, painters,
And this is from a
were
country.
dangerous because they're thinkers. So what did Stalin do? Kill that son of a bitch and his sons.
Yeah. And this
Future enemies.
And this is a country that valued culture, and they had developed culture before him. I mean, culture was a big
for
thing.
a dictator, there's nothing more
There's nothing more.
than me remaining in power.
Exactly.
For Donald Trump, for example, there is nothing more important for Donald Trump than Donald Trump being president forever, if he can.
Yeah.
That's the priority. That's how these people think.
But the sad
So
part.
for anyone to defend them or to promote them, don't talk about democracy. Don't talk about that. You're pro-dictator. Call it out. Call yourself that. I am pro-dictator. Say it. Just be honest and say it.
Even Trump is pro-dictator.
Absolutely
He likes
he is.
people. He likes these guys that have power.
What did he say? What did he say? They get things done.
They get things done. Exactly.
Oh, but most of these countries that have dictators are what you would call
not-
a shithole.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump, you say dictators get things done, but most of these countries that have dictators are shitholes. that you call them shitholes.
Well, I think I've mentioned this before.
He just wants power, power hungry.
I think I mentioned this before when they had the revolution in Portugal, because it was a dictatorship. The military actually got fed up with the wars in Africa and everything. They overthrew the government. Only 4 people died in the revolution because the secret police, some asshole, got out the window and just started shooting. That was it. But anyway, towards the end, when they had it done, there was the head general, Spinola, who, the dictator, which the prime minister, handed him power. He wasn't involved, he knew about it, but, you know, it's like plausible deniability.
He wanted to promote everything.
Right. So he walks into their headquarters where all the planners were, and he goes, "Oh, you guys, okay, now it's up to the people that know what they're doing. You guys are all going to get promotions, blah, blah, blah." And one of the colonel, I think it was a colonel. He goes, "Hey, General, this is not a banana republic.
We don't want promotions.
We don't want promotions. And by the way, you know what you signed up to? The revolution is not over."
Yeah, in other words, we'll take you out.
Exactly.
But that's what dictatorships do, right?
Yeah.
You look at Russia. Look at these old guys.
Oh.
Dude, you need a bigger suit because your medals don't fit. You have so many medals.
Yeah, it's like
This is what cracks me up about Russia. Guess where else they do that? In Africa. In the poorest countries in Africa.
Well, Africa's fucking...
Where these guys have medals on their backs.
Although there's... to give Africa...
This is Banana Republic.
To give Africa some credit, some countries in Africa are already starting to change their ways. Some.
Yeah,
but it's a minority.
I'm not going to see a hell of a lot
It's a minority. It's a minority.
Progress.
Because they're...
You know, the UN sends them food and they steal the food from the UN and the UN sits there looking at them. Come on.
That happens everywhere.
And it's always a general something. General something with all these medals. I don't know what wars you guys been in to earn all these medals.
Yeah.
Like Idi Amin. I mean, how many wars were you know, I mean, he kept giving himself more medals.
Well, Idi Amin was special.
You know, I mean, but Russia, I compare Russia to these countries because Russia is the biggest country in the world. It's a nuclear power. It's a world power. It's got a major oil producer, but you act like a banana republic.
Well, they've always...
Like a foreign minister to sit in the UN and say, yeah, Ukraine attacked us. And being laughed at. Laughed at.
The thing is, Lavrov, I don't know what he was smoking that day.
Because this is for their country, for their people.
He's still smart enough not to say that
and
shit.
they'll probably bleep out the laughing part. They'll fix that.
On the international stage, he knows better.
You know, we went into Ukraine, and not a war, because you're not allowed to say it's a war in Russia.
It's a special military operation.
You're not allowed to say it.
It's a special military operation.
But you know why calling it a war would be appropriate? Because of the body bags coming back. For those of you that remember,
it is a war.
The Vietnam War in this country, there was almost a civil war here.
Remember when they used to have body counts on TV?
Yeah, but do you remember?
That ended.
You remember? People protesting, riots. So the U.S. settled that issue. Make the military voluntary.
Yeah.
So if you die, you signed up.
You signed up.
You weren't forced into
like Trump said that one time to some woman whose husband died or whatever.
Yeah, that widow.
He said he knew he was getting in. What he signed up for.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not have been the right thing to say.
It was inappropriate to say to a woman that's grieving.
But he was right.
But that's the mentality, right? If it's voluntary, we're not going to have riots.
No, we're not going to have nothing.
Because people went voluntarily.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant.
It is brilliant.
But in Russia, do you think at some point where moms have lost their sons, moms and dads have lost their sons and brothers, grandkids, and ask themselves, for what? For what?
Oh, it's just a matter of time.
As the body count rises, it's very different. And you can't say, well, the Ukrainians too. No, it is very different when an invader, just like the U.S. went to Vietnam, right? The U.S. went to Vietnam. Vietnam did not come here and attack the U.S. where the U.S. had to defend itself, right?
Oh,
The US
yeah,
went
it's
to
just-
Vietnam. And we have to fight them there so we don't fight them here. And the body bags were coming back.
Yeah, big time.
And moms' families were losing kids that were forced to go. Forced to go. The poor man's war.
It was the poor man's war.
The poor man's war.
It was. Well, like,
But let me finish this. Does anybody think this can't happen in Russia as well? That families will say, okay, if we didn't invade Ukraine, my son would be alive. Invading Ukraine did not better my life.
that can
My
happen.
family's life.
That can happen anywhere.
Okay? Russian families saying that. Invading Ukraine did not benefit our lives. It cost us our kids, our men. How are you going to do, what are you going to do with that? Now the Ukrainian side is different. We got invaded. We've lost family members living sleeping in their in their apartments, in their homes. We're getting bombed by someone who invaded us. It's a different mentality. It's also a different fight for a soldier whose country got invaded. They're thinking, we've got to win this because I have family. I have family. The invader is not thinking of protecting their family. The invader is following orders. Like the Wagner group, remember they're taking people from prison and told them, if you retreat or you don't fight, we will shoot you.
Oh, the Wagner, yeah, and they
We will kill you.
I think they finally did away with that. Putin
will
actually
kill you.
put an end to that shit because they were losing too many people.
Now, those
because what they were
fighters-
doing, they were putting them in the front line.
Those
No
guys,
training.
those guys, for example, taken out of jail or whatever, you think they're fighting, yeah. They're like, I just want to survive this shit for 6 months.
And then you're out. Yeah.
Are they going to be the best fighters around? No.
No,
That's
hell
why
no.
they were cannon fodder.
Yeah. That's what they were.
They weren't fighting because they're fighting for something. They were fighting they were trying to survive the 6 months and then be pardoned and released.
Yeah. Pardon release.
Are they better fighters than someone who's fighting because I have a mom, a grandmother, my kids live here. I'm fighting for them.
No, those guys are just trying
They're
to
going to be
survive.
harder fighters.
They just
That's
want to survive.
human nature. It's reality.
But I think they did away with that.
It's reality. People fight for different reasons. The ones that have a better reason are going to fight harder because they're fighting for survival. The other one's following orders and probably thinking, I would rather not be here. Okay? I'd rather be home.
Well, that's on both sides.
I'd rather be home.
That's on
But
both
the other
sides.
side
On all
doesn't have a
sides.
choice. They're invaded.
Yeah.
Let's get that clear. I know you're anti-Ukraine. The side that was invaded is fighting for survival. The side that invaded is following orders.
Of course they are.
Okay? It's not, there's nothing there for them. Many start to see there's nothing here for them. I could be home. I could be with my girlfriend or my wife or my kids. Why am I here?
Or
Why am I doing
mistress.
this? The person that was invaded is fighting for their family and their home and their lives. I think you and I disagree on that. You think it's both sides. It's very different. It's psychological. It's human nature. There's a difference. If someone invades your home, they're trying to rob you, you might snap. It's your home. You might go after them and tear them apart because you're being invaded by someone. Your space, your territory, your area, your safe zone has been invaded. And that's why a lot of people say, no, you're not taking my guns because I'm going to protect my home and my family. And I understand that 100%. Some scumbag wants to break into your house, rob you, right? Rob you, harm you, your kids, whatever. You have a gun, you have a bat, you have anything, you're going to use it.
Oh, definitely.
It's your territory, it's your safe space, it's your home.
Unfortunately, you got too many people in this country saying that you cannot protect yourself or your
That scumbag breaking into your home is trying to steal from you. You are fighting for your life and your family's life. It's a big difference. All right, folks, well, thanks for tuning in. Hey, please give us a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we appreciate the support. And from John and Lou, we want to say thank you and talk to you again soon. No dictators.